Hey guys, today I'm back to the Ancient Pottery Challenge. This time I'm going to do the Canteen. So if you remember, I'll put a picture of it up here so you can see what the Canteen looks like. It's not like a modern Pueblo Canteen, tends to be a little bit flattened, whereas the prehistoric canteens were much more globular, and that's the shape I'm going for. Now the ones I had pictured in that video, Ancient Pottery Challenge video, if you haven't seen that video, I will put the link to that right up here so you can check that out. The ones I had pictured in there were all kind of black on white. They were all black on white canteens, and I want to do something a little different. So I'm going to go with more of a White Mountain Redware canteen. So if you don't know what that looks like, here's a picture of what White Mountain Redware is. It's a bright red with black and white design, so kind of a polychrome. And I've never seen a canteen painted this way, so something new, something different. And this goes to the point of that Ancient Pottery Challenge that I wanted to emphasize, and that is you do not have to decorate the way those ancient examples are. Sky's the limit on how you want to decorate them. You can glaze them, however you want to handle the exterior. As long as they're hand-formed, inspired by the ancient forms, then the sky's the limit how you decorate. There's nothing wrong with decorating like the originals, just you don't have to. And in this case, I am decorating it and firing it as an ancient piece, but a different type of ancient pottery. So now I'm going to build this in a couple of parts. The way I want to do it is I'm going to build the bottom first, then I'm going to let it firm up. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to clean that bottom up real good. Once I put that narrow neck on top and those handles, there's no way I'm going to be able to turn it over and work on the bottom for a while. So I want to get the bottom kind of squared away before I go to the top, which is different from the way I usually work. Usually I build the whole thing and then I gently at some point turn it over and scrape the bottom, fill in holes and such. So I'm going to do that when I'm about halfway built. And then I'm going to go maybe about 3/4 of the way, start enclosing that mouth. But I'm not going to close it all the way when I attach the handles. And the reason is, if I go all the way to that narrow mouth, I'm not going to be able to reach in. And I want to have my hand inside when I'm attaching the handles so I can press firmly into that and not, push the jar out of shape. So I'm going to leave a good size hole. I'm going to attach those lugs, and then I'm going to do the neck finally. Okay? And so get started on that and see how it goes. My little obsidian blade that my friend Alan Denoyer made for me. Works really good for trimming this. All right, this goes to show what you can do with fat coils. This is one pancake of clay in the bottom and then one fat coil, and I'm about halfway there. So this is not the way the ancient Mogollon in my area coiled. Every time I see indications on the pottery, on the ancient sherds of how wide a coil was, those coils were no bigger than your little finger and probably closer to pencil size. They're very small. But I find this very expedient, and you don't get those weak coil junctures, which are a potential fail point in the future. So I'm going to let this sit for a while. I'm going to cover it with a cotton cloth so it doesn't dry out too quickly. I should probably wet the rim before I do it. that's it. I've got the bottom all smooth, I mean relatively, but now I can work on the top without worrying about the bottom until it's fully set up and firm. I just got to figure out how to put this pookie back so it does the least amount of wobbling, you know? Even though the pookie bottom looks pretty round, you know, it's got irregularities in it. So there's a direction where it's going to fit on this pot the best, with minimal wobbling. Not too bad right there. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Flipping this over is kind of exciting. Well, anxiety inducing anyway, because you don't want to push it out around. And of course I did. I mean, not terribly, but definitely needs a little reshaping now. I am going to wet my rim, scarify my rim, and I'll be ready to add a coil. Okay. I think I'm going to add another small coil, and then let it firm up, and then put those handles on it. There's only so much farther I can bring it in and still get my hand in the hole to work, and so those handles are going to have to go like right on this shoulder here. Here's the yellow slip I'm going to use on this pot. This should fire to a nice bright red that is consistent with White Mountain Redware. This is actually a material I haven't tried before. I just processed it recently. Comes from up not far from Heber, Arizona, on the Mogollon Rim. So just going to soak that a little bit and paint it on here pretty quick. Hopefully get this pot all finished up here pretty soon. Okay, you know, midway through, what do I think? It's a little wonky in places. You know, I've done better work, but I am happy with it. It's just, I think the form was more challenging than I anticipated, and the clay I'm using is little lacking in plasticity. It tends to crack at that mid stage. This is the clay that I've been using all season that I collected in Pima, Arizona. If you're interested in that video, I'll put the link up here for you. These loop handles are going to want to dry fast. So I usually dry my pots upside down because the rim has a lot of surface area and it will dry too fast and it'll crack every time. So with a jar like this, you really can't set it on the rim. It's just too small and fragile, easily tipped over. Plus these are also sticking out, drying out fast. So in order to prevent potential cracks from drying too quickly, I am going to cover the loop handles with something that the prehistoric people did not have, aluminum foil. Just trying to keep the air off of them a little bit. If I had to call it something, I'd say school bus yellow. About the same color as a school bus, or maybe the stripes in the middle of the road. Okay, 9:45 at night, and I've got this all, I got all the yellow slip on it. I have white slip still to put on it, but this stuff is still a little lumpy. So I'm going to let it sit overnight. It didn't slake as quickly as the yellow did, and I'll apply that in the morning. And then give this a good rock polish, and we'll be done, other than the painting, which can go on at any time. These steps, adding the slips, have to be done at certain levels of dryness, but the painting can go on anytime. So almost done. I will finish it up first thing in the morning. Looks fairly smooth. We're ready to go on that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I've still got a lot of slow drying and polishing as it reaches certain stages of dryness to do, but there's no point in waiting the video on it because this could take days potentially because I want this to dry really slow because it's got things like these lugs and I can't turn it upside down. So just trying to be careful because things like lugs can easily break if they dry too quickly or dry unevenly. So that's why I've got saran wrap wrapped around the lugs and around the rim. I'm just trying to even the drying process. Now, I know they didn't have saran wrap in the olden days, so I've got to polish this as it dries because I want it to have a nice glossy surface, and so it's going to need polishing a couple more times as it gets to different stages of dryness. So this is Ancient Pottery Challenge item number 9, the canteen. So check that out. I'd like to see what you can do making a canteen like this. It doesn't have to be decorated like this, but hand formed, something in this form that is globular with the lugs on the side, a narrow neck. All right, if you're enjoying my channel, subscribe yourself. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up so I know we want to make more videos like this, these build videos, especially the Ancient Pottery Challenge builds. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.